All right, let's talk about Apple. The Wall Street Journal is reporting the company has cut its orders for components for the iPhone 5 because of weaker than expected demand. It seems like it's getting tougher for Apple to maintain share in the face of competition, right? You've got Android and Samsung phones that cost less and offer similar functions, particularly abroad. They're not subsidized like they are in the U.S. And to put numbers to that, Apple had, 14.6% of global smartphone shipments in the third quarter of 2012. Down from 23% in the fourth quarter of 2011. Patty, has Apple's iPhone market share peaked? Is Apple the story it once was?
You know, their margins are certainly going to be coming under pressure. For the first time, we actually saw the last 2 quarters worth of their margins come down. That's something that we see on a regular basis out of other technology companies, but not out of Apple. And I think if you look at the Samsung handsets, and if you look not at the original release of the Microsoft Surface, but the new one that's just coming out now, that's the Surface Pro, these things are game changers. Apple hasn't come out with anything that's a game changer in the past year or so. It's just been smaller or different versions of things they already had. Given that, I think that you've got to be a little bit cautious. Absolutely, it's a cheap stock. They've got a lot of cash on the balance sheet. There are a lot of things going for it. Could I buy it and put it away and probably not worry about it? No, because things are changing. So I think you've got to be very cautious when you look at that stock at this point in time.
Yeah, as you said, things are changing, and word on the street as the economy is working on that lower-end iPhone. Lee, do you think one of the reasons why that's the case, why Apple is targeting a less pricey iPhone, is because of the incoming competition? And how worried are you about that and Apple's ability to maintain its high margins if that's the case?
Well, Apple maintains their high margin because they have the superior product and they have a following. And I'm not going to give up my iPhone to buy something from Samsung.
Yeah, but what if you have the lower priced iPhone? They got to make it up on volume, right? If you're going to sell at a lower price.
Hey, listen, I'm not really concerned about who's selling cell phones in Africa right now. I'm really concerned, are they going to make some of those middle markets? Are they going to be able to make an iPhone cheap enough so that people in China can buy it without, thievery or selling their liver? And I think that that's really what we're talking about. Do we have these emerging markets that have already emerged that may not have $400, $500, $600 to spend on an iPhone where they might buy some cheaper version? But I don't necessarily think that this is a response to anything. I think it's a premium product. Plus, the thing that everybody has to realize is that one of the stocks that we own is like MasterCard, and it's all about this mobile payment stuff. But I think that technology to take is not going to be on cheap little Nokia flip phones in sub-Saharan Africa. It's going to be when you have a cheaper iPhone or that type of high-level technology, and that's where you start going to have that mobile payment stuff really pick up, and that's going to secure Apple's footprint. And I'm not concerned if there's some little part. They don't make huge margins on their laptops. Nobody's freaking out.
Todd, well, let's differentiate between Apple the company and Apple the stock. Where do you think Apple's stock goes from here?
It's going way higher. It's going to set a new 52-week high by the end of the year.
What's going to drive that? I mean, you've got so many, relative negative factors here.
Let me tell you something. They have very healthy margins right now. This company with the iPhone 5 will add $48 billion to its bottom line by year end. Think about that. If you take a look at all of the iPhones combined, they amounted to $40 billion to the bottom line. The reason why they haven't come out with any new products is because the infrastructure isn't there. It doesn't do anybody any good if they come out with a new product that's supposed to be the next category killer if AT&T and Verizon don't have the infrastructure set up. That's what they're waiting for, guys. Look, I got insiders over at Apple. They're telling me that's exactly what's going on. They got the iPhone 5 that's rolling out, a special version coming out this summer. It's going to be much more personal, new colors, everything. Of course, there's low demand right now because they're going to have even more demand in the summer. People don't wait outside all night long for a Samsung product. They do it for an Apple product. That's why you want to buy the stock.